Let's start with a question today. How many of you have heard that Indian society is a caste society? Or let me put it another way. Rampant casteism is practiced in Indian societies. Why am I saying so? Because there is a practice among Indians to blame everything on caste. The same was attempted in the recent suicide case at IIT Bombay, which appears to be failing miserably. Namaste and welcome to TFIPost. I'm your host Pauresh Gupta. Let's begin. In February this year, a case was reported in which an 18-year-old boy, Darshan Solanki, a first-year student in Bachelor in Technology Chemical course at IIT Bombay, was suspected of having jumped off the 8th floor of his hostel building located within the campus in Powai. Initially, the police lodged an accidental death report. However, later, after the entry of caste angle, the probe was transferred to the Special Investigation Team (SIT) headed by Joint Commissioner Crime Lakshmi Gautam. The family of the deceased student had alleged that their son committed suicide due to caste discrimination he faced at the institute. Darshan's father had said, and I quote, "We have been saying that Darshan has told us that other students were hurling caustic remarks against him," unquote. However, the internal investigation conducted by IIT Bombay opines that there was no casteist angle and Solanki may have committed suicide due to deteriorating academic performance. On Sunday this week, the SIT of the Mumbai police arrested a batchmate of the Dalit student Darshan Solanki, who died by suicide in February, named Arman Iqbal Khatri. Arman Iqbal has been arrested on the charge of abetment to suicide of Solanki. As per the Mumbai police, the suicide note found in the room of Solanki mentioned Iqbal's name, and the police say that Iqbal had allegedly threatened Solanki with a cutter after he had made some communal remarks. He has been presented before a special holiday court designated under the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act, which remanded him in the custody of police until Thursday. Reports suggest that Iqbal was not cooperating with the investigating team, which is why they had to arrest him. The basis of the arrest happens to be the suicide note, which read, "Arman, you killed me." The police had not made any arrests so far, as it was being verified that the handwriting found on Solanki's suicide note matches with Solanki or not. There is no dearth of opportunistic politicians in India. As soon as the unfortunate news of student suicide came out, the opportunistic brigade jumped on the opportunity and started blaming the caste system in India for the suicide case, the same as in the case of Rohith Vemula. How many of you remember the suicide case of Rohith Vemula, the activist down south who allegedly died by suicide, and it was said that he was forced to commit suicide due to the caste discrimination he was facing on campus. However, it was found out in the investigation that he had blamed no one in his suicide note. The 26-year-old PhD scholar killed himself on 16th January 2016 due to personal problems and frustrations. Here are some words from his suicide note. "I always wanted to be a writer of science like Carl Sagan. I feel like a growing gap between my soul and my body, and I have become a monster. My birth is my fatal accident. I can never recover from my childhood loneliness, the unappreciated child from my past." Thus, what was the conclusion? Simple, no one killed Rohith Vemula. However, multiple protests were orchestrated by the left liberal cabal ranting against caste in his suicide. The same was attempted in the case of Darshan Solanki. However, in this case too, it seems that the opposition and the leftists are set to draw a blank. In the beginning of the video, I asked you a question. Do you think Indian society is casteist? The blatant answer that would come out is a big yes. But I won't blame you for thinking so. It's an often spoken fact that Britishers brought casteism to India from Europe and that we never followed discrimination on the basis of caste. Why so? However, it is a very vast topic of discussion. Let me put two basic reasons behind that. First, they could not understand the Varna Vyavastha being practiced in India. They found it too difficult to comprehend, so they needed some easier demarcation. And second, they needed a tool to divide the Indian society to enforce their famous divide and rule tactic. The ones who took over from British imperialists forwarded the same history written and propagated by the Britishers, or say the Macaulayan version. Kundan, the protagonist, says in the ending of the film Ranjana, "Kaun fir mehnat kare, ab mood nahi." As with Kundan, the Indian power circles also did not want to work hard, and here we are, grown into a society that blames the caste system for everything that happens in the country with the sole motive of vilifying the upper caste. However, this time with the IIT Bombay case, it seems that the left liberal cabal along with the opposition have failed miserably.